What just went down in Hollis Hall changes the way our offense looks on first down, on 3rd and 6, in the red zone, and in the 2-minute drill. And it does it with one of the most efficient culture fit, value for value moves I've seen from this front office. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, where you get fast updates, legit rumors, and deep analysis about our Chicago Bears delivered with the voice of a fan who lives this team every day. And today I'm walking you through the real impact of bringing in Jonah Jackson. Why the compensation is being called a steal, how it reshapes the trench math for Caleb Williams, what it means for the interior next to Darnell Wright and Teven Jenkins, how the staff can weaponize his traits in Ben Johnson's system, and what the last 3 games tell us about the version of Jackson we're getting. So stay with me, because I'm going to build this brick by brick, and when we hit the apex, you'll understand why people around the league are quietly saying, Chicago just got starter-level guard play for pennies on the dollar and put another stake in the ground that this window is opening right now. Start with the context. For years, we've talked about protecting the franchise quarterback in theory. And in 24 wild hours, the message turned into action, with Chicago moving a 2025 6th-rounder to land Jonah Jackson and also striking for Joe Thuney with a 2026 4th. You don't need a front office badge to see what that means. You just need to watch Caleb's pocket and the way defenses have tried to cave it in from the inside, because edge pressure you can climb from, inside pressure you can't. And the fastest way to ruin a rookie's progress is collapsing a gap in his face before the second hitch. Jonah Jackson, at his best, solves exactly that problem, and he does it with the combination of pop off the snap, range in space, and controlled violence in his hands that made him a Pro Bowl guard in 2021 to 2022. Watch the tape from this season, and the story writes itself. He's back to gliding on wide zone, snapping hips on duo, getting square on backers at the second level, and when he gets his inside hand first, the rep is usually over. And that's before we even talk about discipline. In his last 3 games for the Bears, we're talking 216 snaps, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, 5 total hurries, and 0 penalties since week 4. The kind of clean sheet that lets an offense stay on schedule and a play caller stay in his bag without calling protection bailout concepts every other snap. Now layer that onto the bodies we already have. Darnell Wright is a people mover on the front side of power and a punisher on crunch. Teven Jenkins is a torque machine with mean streak and anchor. Plug Jackson between those skill sets, and you get true versatility inside zone when we want to play fast, duo when we want to dent the front, GT counter to steal numbers, and the little things that make an offense breathe, like screens with a guard who actually lands on corners in space, and toss looks where the puller isn't just a body but a finisher. That's the run game. And it matters because it tilts second down in our favor and lets Caleb live in the second and medium world where Ben Johnson can marry shot plays to protection looks. But the pass game impact is just as real, because Jackson's short set timing and his ability to close the inside half of the pocket shrink the bull and swim window interior rushers used to knock the timing off. Quick game. And when you string together those clean pockets, you get exactly what we've been begging for: rhythm throws from the strike zone with the ball out on time, not hero ball off platform under fire. People throw the word steal around loosely in this league, but let's be blunt. Exchanging a 2025 6th-round pick for a guard performing at this level is the kind of arbitrage move contenders make, and it looks even better when you zoom out and factor roster economics. Because a late day 3 pick is a lottery ticket, and Jonah Jackson is a known commodity who changes Sundays right now. The hidden value is that he erases negative plays holding flags that kill drives, hits on the quarterback that turn into flutter balls, tackles for loss that blow up sequencing, and when you remove those self-inflicted wounds, the offense stops living in behind-the-sticks hell. There's also the chemistry piece, and it's not fluff. Look at how fast he syncs with Caleb's set points and with the center's ID calls. That matters when a coordinator is installing more protection tags at the line, because it pulls disguise. Pressure's out of the bag from opponents, and it's why the last 3 weeks have felt calmer even before the ball is snapped. You can actually see Caleb's feet settle and his eyes stay downfield instead of bracing for impact. And that's not only good for box score stats, It's good for development and decision-making because clean pockets make quarterbacks honest. Scheme-wise, Ben Johnson can go deeper now. True five-out looks on early downs because he trusts the interior to sort out simulated pressure. Heavier doses of play action with half rolls back into a firm B-gap. More RPOs knowing the guard can reach a 2-eye and let the back press the mesh. And a whole catalog of pinpull variations when he wants to stress the force defender. A guard who can run and finish becomes a multiplier for the whole menu. And for anyone asking whether this is just a short flash, remember that line play stabilizes with health and repetition. His current run of 0 sacks, 0 QB hits, and no flags since week 4 is what consistency looks like, and it tracks with the version of Jackson that earned honors earlier in his career. Combine that with the staff emphasis on footwork and hand placement, and you get a player whose floor rises week by week, which is exactly what you want in November and December when the league turns into a pass rush arms race. There's a cultural layer here too that I won't ignore. This move screams alignment from ownership to GM to head coach. It's the opposite of window dressing. You don't add Jonah Jackson, and yes, you don't swing on Joe Thuney inside the same 24-hour window unless you intend to own the middle of the line and send the entire locker room a message that the kid under center is the priority and the standard is winning reps on the first count. Linemen feel that respect. Backs feel the landmarks open up. Receivers feel the extra half-second downfield. The whole building gets a little taller when the trenches are handled like this. And let me be crystal clear about the stakes. Every great offense has a backbone made of guards who don't lose fast. With Jackson in this form, the Bears just turned a soft spot into a strength for a price that will look even cheaper each week he stacks clean tape. And that's why I'm calling it what it is, a front office heist pulled off with cold logic and perfect timing. So here's my concise read before I hand it to you. Chicago didn't just add a name, they solved a problem. And the data from the last 3 games, 216 snaps. No sacks, no hits, 5 hurries, 0 penalties since week 4 backs up the eye test that this is starter-level guard play right now. Caleb gets firmer pockets. Ben Johnson gets to expand the call sheet. The run game gets a finisher at the point of attack. And the cost was a 20-25-6. Tell me that's not robbery, and I'll show you a scoreboard in December. Now, I want to hear you in the comments. Do you see Jonah Jackson as the missing interior piece that unlocks the next stage of Caleb's growth? Do you think this value sets the standard for how we should operate the rest of the window? And where would you deploy him most, more inside zone to keep the chains moving? More duo to punish light boxes, or more pin pull to get him out in space crushing? DB, drop your take. Keep it sharp and football real. And if you want every roster move, every scheme tweak, and every rumor with substance as this thing builds toward January, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report. Hit the bell and share this with a friend who spends Tuesdays rewinding trench tape. We're going to keep telling the truth about this team with the same urgency you feel on Sundays.